Record. And then we'll go ahead and I'm going to share my screen with you folks and bring up my program here. So if I'm not mistaken, you should have something that looks very similar to this right now. And we're at the point where it runs till up to this, where we can put in our S or whatever, and it brings up the subtraction. It should, if I type Y, it should run again. If I type in an A, I get that. So if I type a Y again, and if I type like an X, it should say that's not valid, right? So we type in an N and the program should end. All right. So that's okay. So we got some cleaning up to do here. Let's go ahead and look at our program, because I saw a couple things there that I didn't. Under the addition one, why didn't I get a carriage return there? Which one was it? Oh, it was the subtraction one. Right. Oh, that should be okay, though. At the end here. Answers under division. Okay. We're going to get rid of this line right here. It should be about line 82, the one that shows the answer to a division problem. We don't want to show the user, and we'll put a break in there, because we don't want them to have the answer. That'd be kind of silly. All right. All right, so we get to this point here. It shows the question, and now it should not show the answer, I would hope. Okay, so if I hit D, for example, and then it continues, okay. If I hit Y, I type S, and that works too. Okay, so then I'll type an N to quit. So that looks good up to that point. So now we need to add a spot where the user, the kid we're teaching, is going to put in their answer, right? So we'll just say system out print enter your answer. Oops. All right. And then here. Okay. So then let's see our scanner. Did we make one? Yep, con in. So this will be int user answer will be assigned the value con in dot next. Oops, we know it's an integer because we made it that way. Okay. And then we can actually print out there just to make sure we're getting it. All right. So now, let's see here. And if we type the letter A, it does that. And if I say 9, it prints out 9. So that's good. The problem here is if I type Y and say, okay, I want to do a multiplication. And I enter the letter A, the program crashes. Well, we can't have our program crashing. We have to make it so that it can't crash. So right here, I'm going to get rid of this for now. We're going to put in what's called a while loop, okay? So we'll say while, parentheses, not, okay, con in has next int. Okay. We need to move this down to here. This goes here for now. What's going on there? Why is that lighting up? Oh, that's fine. All right. So inside this loop, this is an error that tells them they can't do that. So in here, we're going to say system.out.print line only integer number answers are allowed. Then we'll do system.out.print line. And we'll re-enter your answer. And then I have to clear the buffer. So it's going to, hang on. And we'll have con in next just. And then if they can get through that loop, then it allows them to put in their answer. So this is what you will do. Anytime the user is going to put something into your program, you have to have a has next while loop in it. Unless what they're putting in is a string. In other words, if you're asking them their name or what state they live in, that's stuff like that, you don't have to have a while loop like this. But if they're entering in something like true or false for Boolean, if they're entering a double, if they're entering an integer, anything like that, excuse me, they have to have a has next loop. Hang on, I'm sneezing. So we got that. So now watch what happens when we work this thing. Okay, so we put our D in here and it says 28 divided by 4, enter your answer. And if I put in the letter A, it says, wait, only integers or whole numbers answers are allowed, okay? And then again, if I type in an exclamation point, doesn't like that. But if I was to type in 7, that's fine. It lets me do that. So again, this keeps this whole thing right here. This prevents program crash or improper data type assignment. Again, because I can't store letters inside of an int, right? I can't store letters inside an int. So there's a bunch of these has next. I'll show you some of them. Don't do this, I'll just show you. So if I just hit plus there, you can see here, has next big decimal, big integer, Boolean, bytes, doubles, floats, integers, longs. Okay, there's all kinds of those. So if you need to, if it's some type of data other than a string, you need to use this. All right, so now we have the user's answer and we have the computer's answer. So we can say if comp answer is equal to, right, user answer then we want to do something like system.out.print line so something to that effect. Else okay, so now let's see if that works. Okay, we'll test the A first. We'll say 16. Says it's right. Do a subtract. And we type in 1. That's correct. Oops, I ended it by putting a slash in there. Just want to check them all, make sure they all work. 0 times 6 should be 0. And then I'll do a division, and I'll get this one wrong. I'll put 4. Okay, so now I've tested that they all work. It runs repeatedly. It tells the student if they got it wrong or right. But if I'm going to do a bunch of them, how do I know how many I've done, et cetera, like that, and how many I've had right and what my percentage is? So we're going to go way up here to the top, outside the do, and I'm going to create a couple variables. I'm going to have one that's int, question count, something like that. And we'll make that 0. And then we'll have one int correct. And we'll make that 0. Okay. And that's all we really need. Oh, nice.
That's me. I didn't realize my mic was muted.
All right, so then we're going to say here, every time they run, we want to add 1 to the question count, right? So question count plus plus. means add 1 to it. That's a shortcut. That's the same as saying quest count plus, no, is equal to quest count plus 1, or it's also equal to, or these are 3 different ways to get the same thing. Quest plus equals 1. All 3 of those do exactly the same thing when you're incrementing by 1. Okay, you use one of those 3 things to increment by 1. So now, if I come down here, in here I can put that correct plus plus, if they get it right. Okay. So I got the 2 variables up here. Every time I run the program inside the do, I'm adding 1 to the question count. When I leave the program, when I'm ready to leave, I come down here after my final Y there, I'm going to go ahead and figure out my double grade percentage is equal to the one of them has to be a double. We're going to go up to the top here and make this question count a double. If I don't, I'm not going to get a percentage because it'll do integer division on me. So we'll make that a double and make this 0.0. See if it'll leave it like that. So now I've got a double divided by, or an integer divided by a double. So now it'll give me a double answer instead of an integer. So this is going to be my correct, right? Divided by question count. And then once I have that, oops. Oops, what's going on? Oh. Oh, and then, okay, what do I got here? I got that backwards, probably. Ah. Okay, what's going on here? One, oh. It doesn't need to be that guy there. There we go. Finally. Okay, so you had See if it can take that. No, it doesn't like that percent sign there. All right. And then let's put another, make that 2 ends there. We can put our goodbye thing in. One thing down here. All right, let's see if it works. So I'll do a D first, put a 4 in, Y, A in. Why am I getting ones below? I'm missing a /n in the division 1. 13. Yes. An M. 0 times 5. I'm going to put 1. So I get that wrong. And then I'll quit. And I get a big error because I forgot to put everything in. Got to put in all my arguments here. So this one is correct. And question count. And then grade percent. Oh, I forgot those. Sometimes you do that. D, and it's going to be 10. And then I'm going to do an S, and that'll be a 2. And then I'll say Y, and then I'll say M. And 4 times 8 is 32. I'm going to make it 33 to get it wrong. And then I'll say I want to quit. And I'm still getting a formatting error. 2 out of Okay. Oh, because question count is an integer, I'm going to put 0.0 F here. Is what I got to do. Because it's a double. I'll put 11. There we go. So I had 2 out of 3 questions for a score of 66.67. And that's right. So now it grades them. Let's go ahead and also add a /n here so that we get a little bit of a, right here, this moves down. There'd be a space in between these 2 lines, which is what we want, so it looks pretty. We can also probably, so these aren't jammed in, go up to the top. And then our top of our banner here, let's put a /n there so that every time it runs, we get a space. So now let's see what it looks like. Again, these are all small things that make our program look better. See how I have a space here now above the banner? That I kind of divides it up better, right? And then a 2 here. And let's just say no. And see, now I got a space right here. Okay, and it says I got 2 correct out of 2 questions for a score of 100. So I think that looks pretty good. Okay, anybody need any help or anywhere? Oh, there was one other spot, right, that I needed to fix. Where was it though? How come there's something goofy? Which one didn't go down to the next line? Oh, the A did. Let me run it again. I want to see where the S comes out at. Oh, see, I don't know that I like that on the same line. So that's right. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to put after each one of these. And I already got that one. In this case, I'm going to want the entry on the next line after the enter your answer comes up on the next line, not on the same line. And I think that's cleaner. Okay, so there's my program and your program, hopefully. Does anybody have one that isn't running for some reason?
Could you scroll to the bottom real quick? I missed the last line.
Let's do this too. Let's do, I want to see something, experiment here. I'm going to get rid of this double here and see if I can make it an integer and still get the right answer. So if I make that an int and change this back to just a 0, and then I come down here. Now, if I'm multiplying times a double, I wonder if it'll let me do this now. And then I could change this back to just %d and see if I get the right answer without crashing. So I do an S, I do 1, okay, and then I say no, and it works fine. So let's do that. That's cleaner. So go ahead up to the top and make this an integer again that just says question count is equal to 0. And the reason I can do this is because I'm multiplying by 100.0 down here. See this right here? That's letting me make this a double. Because if I had, what I have here is 2 integers. So it's going to do integer division here, except that I've got a double here. And so it's going to let me get the right answer, I hope. Let me run 2 and see if I get one right, one wrong, what happens. Do 11 for that one. Division, and I'll say 3 divided by 3 is 0. I'll say no. It says I got 1 out of, oh, see, it's not right. It says 0%, so it isn't working. Okay, so now what do I do about that? Do that. What if I do, wonder if it'll let me do this. Let's see what this does, if anything. Okay, so M, 0, and then yes, yes, and then this is, we'll make it 9. Nope, it's not letting me, I'm still not getting a percentage there. So what if I do this? Do you understand what I'm trying to do here? Nobody understands? There you go, now it's working. If I don't put this in a certain way, I'm going to have whole number integer division, which will always give me either 0 or 1. Okay, usually. So, because the questions are all going to be more than the correct. So the only time I would get a percentage would be is if I got them all correct. If I ever miss one, then this comes out to 0. So then I have 0 times 100. And so that won't work. I need this to be the answer here to be a fraction, right? That's what a percentage is some usually below, in our case of a grade, it's usually below 1. Okay, it's a fraction of 100%. So mathematically, this will work. Versus changing a bunch of other stuff. And then you get to change this back to just a simple percent D there. All right. Anybody else have somebody? Ray, did you get your thing typed in?
Yeah, I have another error, and it's saying that my else doesn't have a if to, like,
Okay, so let's
else
go.
without if.
Let's look.
All right.
You want to share or you just want to look right? Is it for this one here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me look, and if I can't see, I'll share.
Okay, you got both of those braces?
I do.
You have a semicolon here.
Yeah.
All right, why don't you share then? Hang on.
Wait, actually, we go back to that real quick. I don't think I
Yep.
might not have.
Yep.
Yeah, I do have it. That's weird. I'll share.
All right, hang on. Okay, go ahead. Let's see if you guys can find Ray's problem here before I say anything. I see it right away. First of all, this has nothing to do with the problem, but could you indent your system out print line correct and the correct?
Oh, yeah.
Anybody see what's wrong? It should be very apparent. I'm going to have to ask people a guess. Madison, do you see it?
Sorry. Not really. I was gonna look at your example real quick.
Daniel, do you see it?
If has a semicolon.
Yeah, why didn't you say that, dude?
I just noticed it.
On the end of your if statement, there shouldn't be a semicolon. There you go, all fixed.
Thank you. All right.
Anybody else? Okay, that's my song and dance for today. So you owe me an extra 40 minutes of homework time, okay? That you should be working on your stuff. So I'll be back. I have an office hour at 11, but you're free to go unless you have more problems. Have a great weekend.